Hello, and thanks for joining us from our studios in Tel Aviv. Coming up in today's newscast, Israel's under fire for settlement expansion. An Israeli George Clooney lookalike has caused some trouble, and say hello to the first ever Israeli Wonder Woman. I'm Natasha Kirchak here with the latest news in Israel. The Palestinian Authority is attempting to advance a UN resolution which declares Israeli settlements are illegal under international law.
The UN Security Council resolution will condemn the settlements in the West Bank and recognize them as an obstacle to peace. The PA has reportedly already been in contact with France, Spain, and Egypt in an effort to convince the Security Council to create a draft of the resolution.
We are contacting the international community, the Americans, the Europeans, others in the international community. We're consulting with them because I think we should go to the Security Council with a resolution only and solely for the colonial settlement enterprise. That's what we need to do, and we hope that those who tell us not to go to the Security Council to tell us. If we tell us, we ask you to stop settlements, you ask them to stop settlements, they're not listening to you. They're not listening to Obama, they're not listening to Kerry, they're not listening to Merkel, they're not listening to anyone. So please, when we approach the Security Council with a resolution concerning settlement activities, don't stop us. We're the victims here.
The move comes right as Israel announced plans to annex almost 400 acres of West Bank farmland. The Israeli government has yet to comment on criticism being leveled at the proposed land seizure in the Jordan Valley. The Israeli-run West Bank civil administration says that there will be a 40-day objection period before the decision goes into effect. They claim the move is technical in nature because it gives a property the status of state land and makes it easier for farmers to use it. But the anti-settlement Peace Now group is describing the government move as a catastrophe.
Unlike previous governments, this government is allowing the expropriation of more lands in the West Bank to expand the settlements. We see this policy as a catastrophe that is meant to destroy the possibility for a two-state solution and to de facto annex Area C to Israel.
Meanwhile, the United States is condemning Israel's plan to appropriate the West Bank land near Jericho.
The U.S. State Department says that the action calls into question Jerusalem's commitment to a two-state solution with the Palestinians. State Department spokesman Mark Toner says the Obama administration strongly opposes any steps that could accelerate settlement expansion.
I feel as though I sound like a broken record, but we strongly oppose any steps that could accelerate settlement expansion. And we believe they're fundamentally incompatible with a two-state solution and call into question, frankly, the Israeli government's commitment to a two-state solution. It's up to the two sides, or both sides rather, to demonstrate with actions and policies a genuine commitment to a two-state solution. So, we want to see a de-escalation. We want to see affirmative actions on either side that, as we said, can create an environment where we can talk about moving forward in the peace process. Up to now, we've not seen it.
It looks like Israel and Sudan may soon become friends. The Sudanese foreign minister says his country is prepared to discuss ending decades of hostility towards Israel.
The surprising announcement from Foreign Minister Ibrahim Gandor marks the first time a Sudanese official has indicated that relations with the Jewish state are possible. The idea was first declared by a member of the Sudanese Independent Party, who argued that the country's policy of hostility towards Israel has cost Sudan both politically and economically. The motivation also appears to be linked to Sudan's efforts to lift U.S. economic sanctions. The Israeli Foreign Ministry has declined to comment on the report. Right now, Jordan and Egypt are the only Arab nations with formal diplomatic ties with Israel. Yet Israeli officials say that common interests with Sunni Arab countries could open the door to forging new ties.
Imagine a world where you had instant access to everything you want to know about everything that you see. It takes time to get answers to the basic questions we have every day. How many calories are in the muffin you buy? Will this face wash in the pharmacy make you break out? And how do you use this new microwave? The Israeli app WinkApp has figured out how to get you these answers quickly when you're on the go. Check it out.
WinkApp, links in print. Hyperlinks on paper? Yes. Reading about the game? Why not watch the highlights in video? Get all views of the product. Shop online. Get a complete view of a property. Get a coupon directly from the product. Get instructions on how to use the product. Link TV ads to your smartphone. Wink app. Offline is on.
Itai Arad is the CEO and founder of Wink App, and he joins us with more. Thanks for coming in.
Hello, Natasha.
So to use this application, you have to download it to your cell phone, correct?
You may download it to your cell phone, but actually what we offer is an SDK, the piece of technology that can be embedded in any application that's out there.
Interesting. Okay, so how did you guys come up with this idea?
Well, I found myself one day reading my magazine, and I was interested to know more about the article. And in the magazine, it said, well, if you go to www.com, you'll be able to find out more. And I thought, well, there must be a better solution than that. And after some investigation, I found out that actually there isn't a better solution. So we formed a team and came up with this technology.
So what's the difference between Wink App and just going on Google? We have so much information at our disposal now, it seems like
Yes, absolutely. And you can go to Google, of course, and get hundreds of results, which can be relevant or not. You have to sort through them, and it takes time. While with Wink App, we offer a very simple and intuitive way. Just scan the image or the text or the product and get immediately to the relevant hyperlink, the relevant link that was predefined by the publisher or by the retailer.
So it's a huge time saver.
It is, and it's very convenient.
So where is Wink App available right now for use?
So following a long time of R&D, we came up just recently with a very mature technology that we offer to applications out there. It is now available in India, in Italy, and in Hong Kong. And hopefully soon we'll finalize also with some clients in the USA as well.
And so just to clarify, this technology doesn't only work with magazines and newspapers, it can be used to compare prices, right? Or there are lots of different uses for it.
Absolutely. So imagine you go to a store, you see a product, you want to check its ingredients or how to use it, or get a coupon. You just click at it. You don't need no barcode, no QR code, anything. You just click and you get immediately the relevant result.
Interesting. So what are your plans for the future? Where is this headed?
So we are now talking with several major customers, actually publishers and retailers out there. There's a lot of activities going on in China right now, and we're also hoping in the near future to go to the States and become a major player there and help consumer out there.
Great. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how you guys develop. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Movie fans, get ready to see your first real glimpse of the Israeli Wonder Woman. Israeli actress Gal Gadot will be debuting as the Amazonian heroine in the upcoming Batman vs. Superman film.
Gadot will be playing alongside Ben Affleck, who stars as Batman, and Henry Cavill, who will be starring as a Man of Steel. The Israeli actress and model is known for a role in the Fast and Furious film series. Now fans will be able to watch her in her newest role when Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice is released in 2017. But here's some even better news. Exclusive footage of the action movie has just been released. Check it out.
Every day we hear about amazing Israeli companies changing the world. So much groundbreaking technology is made in Israel, and even more innovators come from the Holy Land. A new website called madewithloveinisrael.com is providing a platform for the world to see all the different wonders coming from the country. And in the process, it's connecting investors and entrepreneurs. James Oppenheim joins us with more. Thanks for coming in.
Welcome.
So tell us some more about Made with Israel in Love.
Okay, so the company, the site we started as a result of something that happened here on ILTV. My company, Abandonade, put something very simple in the footer of our site. It said, Made with Love in Israel. And we talked about it a little bit when we discussed BDS and the relationship with technology here in Israel. After that appearance, companies, investors, partners came out of the woodwork to contact me directly and say, hey, wow, what you're doing is great. We want to be a part of it. And we want to reach out and find the best Israeli companies that are best in breed in all the different areas that Israeli tech operates. So we, I guess, took that entrepreneurial spirit and put together a bit of a coalition, a movement, to take the two sides of the equation. You have entrepreneurs on one side and business opportunities on the other, and bring them together in a very transparent, fun way.
So talk to us about that. How does your website actually connect investors with entrepreneurs?
Well, look, we're new. And the most important part is for folks in Israel to be present and counted. Unfortunately, there are a lot of Israeli companies that are a bit reluctant to claim their provenance of being an Israeli company because of all the reasons that we discussed in the past and that we all know. So the first step is for Israeli companies to come out and say, yes, our technology is here. Because our technology is in Israel, it opens up doors that wouldn't necessarily be open to companies anywhere else in the world. So that's the first part. The second part is when that becomes a bit more of a movement, it's interesting to investors. Folks around the world are looking for opportunity. From China, from Europe, from South America, from everywhere, the eyes are on Israel. And it's a natural coming together of the two sides. And we're just delighted to be able to facilitate that.
So Israel is known worldwide as the startup nation.
Sure.
Is the country really living up to that title?
It's more than living up to that title. In the past month, Globe's just reported today, over $400 million was raised in the past month in investment capital in Israel. It's unprecedented. There's no place else like it. Israel is number one in per capita in R&D spending, in venture capital investment, in startups per capita. This place is alive with innovation and entrepreneurial spirit.
So why is that? Why are there so many innovators coming from this tiny country?
Well, anybody will tell you, if you've done business, particularly in high tech, it always comes down to the people. There's a passion here that is unique. There are obviously pressures that are unique, and it creates a lab of innovation. Just if you take it a step from starting with the basics of survival to innovation, it's a very, very close path, and it's something that when people who are in Israel experience it, they know, and Israelis who I meet all over the world, it's funny, that's one of the things that they miss about Israel. It's a pressure cooker on one side, definitely, but it's something that when done right creates an amazing approach to reality that sees things differently. And that's what's kind of cool about doing business in Israel.
So you're getting an inside look at all these amazing Israeli companies and technology. So in your opinion, what is going to be the next big Israeli startup?
Well, look, that's aside from Abandonade, of course, right?
Of course.
So look, I see Israel going in, startups in Israel going in pretty different directions. On the one hand, you have a lot of innovation in medical technology, which is great. I think you recently interviewed the folks from Rewalk. There is a company called Mobile ODT that is testing for cancer using cell phones and apps and things like that, which is amazing. And you also have something that is on fire right now, financial technology, fintech companies like trade streaming that are opening up the world to the genius of the Israeli perspective of finance and how to understand the way finance works on a global scale. There are so many areas inside of technology here. For such a small place, you could, like, feel the air go by, and you feel the energy of the different startups that are happening. And we could talk about startups today, and tomorrow there'll be 3 or 4 more. They grow like mushrooms here. So that's kind of my perspective. And I do meet them all the time, which is kind of cool.
No, I mean, it's amazing to see what's coming from this country, especially since we're so small,
Yeah, it's wild.
This is a really, really cool, platform that you guys have created, and I'm excited to see how it grows. And thank you so much for coming in.
We'll keep you posted.
Yeah, exactly. Sounds
you.
good. All right, so did you know that there's an Israeli version of George Clooney? I'm actually not kidding. Israeli actor David Siegel may have the Israeli ladies swooning, but it turns out that Clooney lookalike is the focus of a major lawsuit.
If you haven't already noticed, the real George Clooney stars in a line of Nestle Nespresso commercials. The Israeli company Espresso Club was so inspired by the catchy advertisements that they released their own lines of ads spoofing them. That's where Clooney's lookalike David Siegel comes into the picture. He stars as the Israeli Clooney in Espresso Club's parody commercials, but Nestle isn't taking the joke lightly. They're suing the Israeli company for $50,000 and calling for Espresso Club to remove the ad. Nestle argues that Clooney markets an espresso brand and that his persona carries a company's reputation. But Tel Aviv courts are rejecting the claim, saying Espresso Club's ads had a disclaimer informing viewers that their Israeli star wasn't the real Clooney. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens.
It's time for our Hebrew word of the day. Today, some incredible news was delivered to an Auschwitz survivor living in Haifa. 112-year-old Yisrael Crystal was told that he may be the oldest man on earth if he can prove it. The news came just moments after the previous record holder passed away in Japan. When Crystal found out, he responded with an old phrase in Hebrew, Simchat Skenti, which is tonight's word. Simchat Skenti means the joy of my old age. Crystal's nonchalant response is already pretty hilarious, but it gets even funnier. From a figurative sense, Simchat Skenti is also tantamount to saying, who the heck cares? Crystal might not, but apparently a lot of people do around the world. So congratulations, Mr. Crystal. May you live an even longer life. Let's go ahead and take a look at the weather forecast. This weekend is finally here. Friday is expected to be mostly cloudy, but it should be warmer with a high of 65 degrees. The temperature should drop down to 61 on Saturday with some light rain throughout the day. All right, everybody, that's it for today's news. Today's exchange rate is 3.97 shekels to the American dollar. Remember to sign up for our daily newsletter at ILTV.tv, and don't forget to check out our new breaking newscast every morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.